Sup, TikTok Nation? Hope everybody's doing well. Your old pal Scrappy D. Greetings, planet lovers, scrappers, scrapettes, recyclers, collectors, commentators, people who help me learn, people who ask questions, people who provide great feedback, and everybody else. Been kind of crazy around here. I think most of you know that. Finally making a dent into the absolute catastrophic mess left behind from the contractors. Not that they left it's just moving everything and all that stuff. I'm trying to get the other computer to cooperate, the other phone to cooperate, and it just doesn't want to. Ugh, come on. It's also going to run out of battery. Oh, come on. It's not super important, but otherwise I won't see the comments go by, and that's not cool. There we go. Jeez. You like my avatar? My nephew did that for me. I don't know. I thought it was, I don't know. He likes it. My family said put it up. No, why not? TikTok is a family affair in this house. So, hopefully I'll be starting to get some lives and content back up. It's been nuts. Patrick, my friend, long time no speak, for which I truly apologize. I am doing quite well, thank you for asking. And you, my friend? So, it's been busy. Last week I was having all kinds of internet problems. I wound up not being able to do a very good job on my live. And they've come out and I've got a new internet modem. So hopefully we won't have that problem again. Well, for those of you who've been following along, last week I picked up a pallet of vintage computers. Now, I will tell you, my knowledge of vintage computers is that. Except that I had a Commodore and Mac growing up. That's my knowledge about vintage computers. We got a bunch of computers called MIPS, MIPS. I've been enjoying doing a bit of reading about those. The original MIPS boards sold for well over $1,000. After I got lowballed a couple of times, I realized what I had, and God was good. We did very well. I think I'll have enough funds to get my car repaired this week. And, you learn and you go on. But I did have one fellow who was really awesome. He lives out in California, and he collects these old MIPS computers. For those of you who don't know what MIPS is, it was a prototype. It was the development board for Windows. There was a battle back and forth between AMD and Windows, and eventually who else got involved? Not Sun Micro, Silicon Valley. I think I've been reading about it just out of fascination and wondering why these things went for so much money. Basically, because you can't get them. The only full working prototype known to God and man is in the Smithsonian Museum. So it was quite a bit of fun reaching out to people and learning about these. As I said, I had two people who really lowballed me, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Do your research, I guess. But I learned a whole lot of stuff. It was very interesting, and as I said, God is good. I made enough to hopefully make a dent, no pun intended, into repairing Big Red. I got sideswiped a couple of weeks ago. was making a left-hand turn, and somebody tried to make a lane on the right side of the truck where there wasn't one, and took a nice side swipe out of Big Red, and he took off. So, you know, even if you're not at fault, if you report it, it goes as an at-fault accident. So we had that going on, but that's okay. Everything's good. Now, if my monitor phone goes out and I miss your comment, please accept my apologies. It is on low battery mode, but I did want to post. I've been a little negligent about what's in the box. So I may have shown you all these already. This came off of the pallet where I got the MIPS computers, and I got 4 of them, guys. 4 MIPS computers. 2 I sold whole. Cases were deplorable, but I figured they would get where they were going safely. And I mean, they sold in no time. They sold very quickly. So I hope the recipients of those things enjoy them. It's a really specialized format. It was really a very interesting read about these MIPS computers. I don't have a lot of information to share because there's not a lot out there about them, but being a teacher and a student all my life, I definitely want to follow up on that. So that came in off a pallet of vintage computers. It had been pulled from an office and sitting on a pallet for God knows how long. I have a tower computer from that lot that I'm going to do on my live tomorrow, hopefully. So these came off of that board, that pallet. These are telecom boards. MEM 03-00052. These would have come out of some kind of a blade. Copyright 1987 MIPS computer system. Look at that. This is going to sell for good money. There's a lot of 6 of them. Wow. Holy cow. Holy cow, holy cow, holy cow. Wow, wow, wow. These will probably get auctioned. MIPS computer system. Look at that. 1987. So the MIPS boards had a big Toshiba heatsink on them. Wow. This will be an interesting. These are going to get auctioned, guys. I'm going to auction the whole lot off. This says it came from an AC Human 3000. I know MIPS made a 2000 and a 3000 version. Boulder, Colorado, 1989. Wow. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Would have been a lot more excited if I hadn't gotten screwed on 2 of the boards. Freaking people, you know, they have no scruples. Wow. So these are MIPS boards from the MIPS computer. They didn't have RAM, they had this. This was their memory. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these memory cards from MIPS computers. That's going to warrant a little bit of research, and if anybody knows anything about them, I would love to, I would very much love for you to let me know. Wow. If you see something that says MIPS on it, early 1980s, you have something of some very good value. Alright, so these cards here all came out of older computers, and I didn't depopulate these. The likelihood is that whoever programmed this card didn't put these EPROMs in. Sometimes that's an EPROM, that's a ceramic. It depends what they needed the card for. So in this case, this is a Cirrus Logic card. It's older. This is a Cirrus Logic card. It's older. I don't answer anything that says unknown caller or spam. They can leave me a message. I did leave the brackets on them. If I sell them to Board Sort, I would take them off. But I wanted to put these up and offer them to you guys first because of their age and much better recovery for gold. This card very well may work. These all came off of that same palette of stuff. This is another, I think this is the same Cirrus Logic. 1992. I don't think this came off of MIPS though. I think this came out of an old IBM. I have two of those. And they're configured the same. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet. I have some of them up for sale. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this one in with that lot that I've got up for sale. But I have them being sold as vintage computer parts. The ones that are complete. So see if somebody who needs them as a vintage computer part will buy that lot. Creative Labs model CT2950. These are just really cool. I mean, it would be uncool to just box them up and not show them to you, you know? You're a dork. I called my father that once, and he went bananas. Apparently it meant something different in his generation than it did mine. Of course, I was disrespectful, and I got punished, and I deserved it. I was a bratty little high school kid. So, this one, the same thing. This, I didn't take the EEPROM out. It came that way. See, when they print these circuit boards, they'll print a blank with spots for different components, and whoever is building the computer adds in whatever it is they need for that computer. So they didn't need this EEPROM, therefore they didn't put it. Again, older, really good for those of you good guys who do gold refining. These vintage boards are awesome. Doesn't have a date on it. Most of these I would say are pre-2020, and that is where you're going to get the best gold recovery. So I'm just kind of going through this box of boards just to show you. You can also see these older vintage boards. Look at that. Look at the gold on these. That is pretty. Much higher quality gold pins than the gold on brass that we get now. Again, there's no date on this. But these are all off those vintage computers. There's another one. This is a Trident. This might be a MIPS part. The thing is, the MIPS parts all say MIPS on them, which stands for million information pieces a second, I believe, or something along those. They were the first of the supercomputers. The fast computers, and again, it's just something I've been doing some research on it just because it's fun. 1994 Trident Microsystems, 1990 Phoenix Technologies. Again, these are the graphic cards, and I have these aside. I've got two lots of them. I've got one lot that's complete, and another lot that's this one. I'm probably going to put these up for auction. Again, I think people who do vintage computers probably should get first crack at these. 1988 Specialix International. And again, see these things that are just missing off of there. It works fine for whatever it was. I mean, I took it out of the computer whole. Now this actually came off. This is a MIPS board, and it came off of a hard drive. That was a hard drive board that came off one of the MIPS computers. The thing was like this. It's huge. There's a video of me taking that apart a couple of days ago. So, like I said, these things are just too cool not to show you before I go and sell them off. But yeah, again, I think these are things that are going to probably go to an auction. I think as much as I love all of you guys on TikTok, and I do try to provide you with a ton of gold bearing material, I just think given the rarity, especially these, I'm gonna tell you, I wouldn't be surprised, and I am not bragging. I'll get top dollar for those. I've got to research them and find out what they're so rare though that Google search doesn't yield much information on them, which is how I got into a mess with it in the first place. I couldn't find any information on it. And I didn't really know what I had until I saw thousands of people trying to get this thing. And, you know, if you're not sure what it is, put it up for auction. Put a reserve on it. That's what I should have done. I didn't. Where I am interested in internet. Patrick, I'm not sure I quite understand the question. I'm sorry. Where am I going to put it in up for auction? The store that if I mention I own, I get a warning on my restrictions. You know where I sell my other stuff, and I'll put a post for these on the profile page. I can't say you know what starting with E, ending with Y, because then they. Oh, that's okay, Patrick. What happened is they give me a restriction, and they basically black out my live if I mention another selling platform. I should probably learn how to do a TikTok shop. But, you know. So this is a Kingston. This is probably fairly new. I don't think this is that old, which is why it's fairly new. It's just, you know, Wi-Fi card. You got mail. But again, it came out of the older computers. This looks a little bit newer to me. This is probably post 2020. I think I'll put that in with the other cards. Same thing with this again, but this is vintage. This is old. This all came out of those old boards. And this is an Ethernet link from 1995. So that's not one of the MIPS. I can't believe this has blown my mind away. I will put the auction up on my profile page at a later, you know, so you guys can go there to watch just for fun. And you know, it was quite a bit of learning. I had one guy who was really honest with me and told me that the board was worth a lot more than I had just sold it for. I did honor the sale and I sold it for what I had been offered, and you know, that's just the way I am. You know, I don't need to be greedy. I just need to pay my bills, eh? This one also is older. You can see here's newer gold flashing. This is a PCI riser card. I sell these in with my regular gold fingers. See this gold flashing as opposed to this? So this is very old. Well, not very old, but it's older. Probably pre-2020. And the date on this is indeed 1999. I don't think this goes in with one of the MIPS. This might be a NVIDIA graphics card. 1999. I'm going to put that over there with the not-so-vintage boards. Again, this one... That's a Kingston. That's a fairly recent company. 2000 something, I think. We'll put that over there with the not-so-vintage ones, huh? I've got more to take apart today. This one got damaged, so it's going to just probably get sold as scrap unless I find it says MIPS on it. WDC 1985. We are in search of MIPS. I don't think this is a MIPS. Nope. So that one's going to go with in a box of scrap because there's this can be repaired. I mean, you can. Somebody who needed this and knows how to fix it, they can take this out. This corrosion can all be cleaned. That usually comes from a battery, so if you're storing these things, you can get the battery out. Probably a good idea. Alright, so I wanted to show you those. It was just really fun to discover that these are indeed MIPS boards. I can't wait to see what happens with those. And again, this is just an Intel Ethernet card. I don't see a date on it. So yeah, we'll put these ones that appear to be clean. You know, I sell them as non-working units. I sell them for parts, service, or repair. Again, I don't have a way to test all this stuff. I'd have to have a museum the size of a barn. So those are those. These are things I put in my regular Goldfinger boxes that I sell to you guys or sell to Board Sort. So that's just standard. But these are all the vintage ones. I'm going to list those as a vintage lot. This was just so cool. I thought this came out of a hard drive, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. I might sell it as a MIPS hard drive board, because the hard drive itself was pretty roached. Assembled in Singapore. Seagate Technologies. Can't read it, but you should see the thing. It was like this. It was huge. Alright, that can go over there. And like I said, these are all going to get sold as a lot of vintage computer cards. This one's even got a coaxial cable for cable TV, for Ethernet. Basically anything pre-1920 I'll sell in that other lot. But yeah, we're going to put those up in vintage computers first. Where does it say MIPS? Usually on the back. Hold on. I saw it. I definitely saw it. It was on one of these boards. Yeah, if you can find stuff that says MIPS on it and it's old, guys, you've got money. Don't scrap it. I did see it. Wait a minute. I gotta find it now. Somebody just asked where did I see MIPS? That's got a squished capacitor. I did see it. I swear I saw it. I swear. I shouldn't swear. I'm a lady. Ladies don't swear. I'm looking to see where it actually said MIPS. I know it said it. Somebody just asked me and I wanted to see if I can find it. There it is. Right up here. So these are memory cards. I did see MIPS on here. I swear I did. I swear. There we go. Copyright 1987 MIPS Computer Systems Incorporated. It may be that only the one card says it, because they are all identical. They probably were in a set, and they pulled out of a cabinet like telecom or blade equipment. These would be expansion cards of some type. So yeah, no, that's a MIPS. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, it was a good question, Jacob. I hope that answered your question. I knew I had seen it. Yeah, but when you're going through vintage equipment, anything that looks like this, take a good solid look at it. If it says MIPS, there is a collector's market out there for a very rare product. So you want to make sure that, you know, don't give away your MIPS like I did this week. Oh, God. Here's the kicker, is the gentleman keeps lowballing me on everything else I got. I wrote to him this morning. I said, considering the loss I took on the boards, please don't ask me for any more lowball offers. And, you know, it kind of upset me because, anyway, over and done. So this is another lot of things I have up for sale. I don't think these have MIPS on them. I'm out hunting for MIPS. MIPS. This board also has some corrosion damage on it. Did I just have this board in my hand? I think it might have come in with this computer. These look like they came out of the same thing. But I mean, even a damaged MIPS board is going to sell pretty well. This is a Magtronic. It is older. Magtronic's an older brand. And that's older gold flashing. But again, this is damaged. I'm going to sell this as a high-grade telecom board because it's damaged. So that'll get sold for scrap. That's out of a Magnetronic 615. It was damaged, you know. I don't want to be responsible for it not working or whatever. These are pretty good. These are telecom cards. I wish I had more of these. I only was able to procure 2. And these are from NEC computers. Some of the NEC computers may contain MIPS products. They did make them. Early Acers made them. I am having such a blank on the, it's not Sun Micro, Silicon Valley maybe? There's another, I can picture the computer in my head, I can picture the name and I can picture the logo, but I can't pull it out. Maybe some microsystems, but they all were on the early bandwagon with these MIPS computers. I've got one. It's a MIPS clone, and that's up in my store. Beastly heavy, but it's a clone. But it does use that operating system. But because of its weight, I've got it fairly discounted just because it's going to be a beast to ship. Pretty cool stuff. So these are NEC modules. Probably came out of some kind of telecom equipment. Again, it would have slid in and pulled out. These are sold as high-grade telecom boards. Excellent for gold recovery. Because it probably came out of telecom equipment, I can't see that there's going to be a resale on it for anything other than gold recovery. This is probably a gold-legged chip. I'll make these available for you guys. This will probably sell. I'll probably sell this whole batch here as a lot of gold-bearing telecom boards. I won't take these off. I'll leave that on in case you guys are interested in something like that. 1985 on this one. I don't see a date on this one at all. But yeah, I'll make these available. You know, they'll be in my store. And are these included in an IC chip preparation? I'm sorry, I don't 100% understand the question. If you're asking, could you strip these for resale or for gold refining? Yes, absolutely. Any of these will come off. They probably do come off, but you know, if I depopulate the board, well, yeah, these are removable. I really don't want to do it because I don't want to break it. But yeah, I mean, if you want to depopulate this for gold recovery, these would be very good. Nick, I believe. Yes, I would put them in with IC chips for sure. These, absolutely. Yeah, ceramic chips, IC chips, sure. Great gold recovery here. And again, I don't think this is going to be a board that would be reused for anything. I don't think it's of any collector's value. So yes, it is something I would sell as scrap. I will leave the gold-legged CPU on there. There's a lot of the stuff I sell specifically to people who do gold refining. That's one of my, I mean, you guys are my biggest market with that. Sure. $13.50 for a pound. The you-know-what site can't mention. Yeah, the you-know-what site is right. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe that TikTok is so paranoid that what they did is that's what happened to my live last Sunday, Patrick. I mentioned the you-know-what store, and I got a restriction, and they basically shut down my live. Live and learn. Onward and upward. So yeah, we'll put this up. I'll put this up in a nice lot for you guys. I'll weigh it. It's probably about 10 pounds of high-grade telecom equipment. Board Sort is paying almost $20 a pound for high-grade telecom as of right now. And I base my pricing around that. I don't charge much over what Board Sort what I would have sold it the Board Sort for. I just like to try, you know, just enough to cover my fees. I almost said it. I've been consolidating all my IC chips in the other day, and I wondered if I should include. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna sell the whole set of them. I'm gonna make it a box, it'll be a priority mailbox like this, and when I get it filled, I'll list it. You know what's nice about doing these is I can, well, hopefully, if I can get the box full, and they can fit them all in the box, I don't have to worry about the shipping so much because it comes out flat rate $24 or $26. So, yeah, we'll work on getting that box full. I'll let you guys know when it's ready. I'll post it on my profile page. I far prefer to go by PayPal. And so yeah, so we'll have I'll have these up as a couple of lots. I probably will post them maybe tomorrow or Monday. I've got a few more computers to go, and I would like to fill the box. I'm gonna auction these guys. They're gonna be on the you know what site because they are MIPS. They are extremely rare, and I don't want to get screwed again like I did on the other one. So anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit of what we're working on. I think tomorrow morning, depending how my arm feels, if I can lift it, I'm going to try to get that old tower computer apart. I don't think it's resale worthy. I think it got too toasty and roachy and beat up. They seem to price for about $200 on. And I can't see. I'd rather sell the boards. Sometimes you do better selling the parts. But that's a decision I'll make tonight. I'll take a look at it. I know yesterday we took quite a few drives apart together. And again, you know, I don't resell hard drives unless somebody says, I really want that hard drive. I will take it to a computer guy. I will have it wiped, and then I will sell it for that. But again, I don't know. Even though these were all wrapped up nice, I don't know. They could have gotten wet. They could have been compromised. They may have a virus on it for all I know. What do I know? I know nothing. I know nothing. So we'll pull some of these apart tomorrow. I do have some more boards. I did that yesterday. I did about, I don't know, what did we do? About a dozen and a half boards. Majority of, a lot of the people who buy from me are scrapping. Hi, Serge. How are you? That seems to have been my niche. I did find just, you know, I couldn't see just shipping it off to the yard or to a large-scale refiner. It's really hard for home gamers to find e-scrap, and it's getting harder and harder and harder. There was an article yesterday about illegal shipping of e-waste. And, they're really going to crack down. It used to just go on a barge and they'd send it to China. But, you know, you've got the price of precious metals going up. You've got the tariffs. You've got, just recycling stuff. I'd rather sell it to somebody who's going to recycle it for gold recovery if I can. It just depends, I've got to cover my bills. If I get the computers for free, and sometimes I do pickups for people. I just come and get them. And, then I don't have to worry as making as much of a profit. Like I've got 200 Lenovo's sitting out in my side yard I got for free, and they're not going to make squat. I am in the United States. Yes, I am in Connecticut. I missed the first half of your question. It says something or RAM sticks. Do I have CPU chips or RAM sticks? I can't keep RAM in stock. Oh, you know what, though? I do want to show you this. And I'm glad somebody mentioned RAM. I stockpiled for quite a while. And I wound up selling a lot of the RAM that I had when it went up to it went up to $42 a pound this week. I wouldn't be surprised to see $50 by the end of the month. But I have a big expense. I've got $7,000 worth of damage to my car, and So I was grateful. It's like, there's money in the bank. I was glad I had it, and I did sell a lot of my RAM. I didn't want to, but I did. I wanted to show you this. This RAM came out of the MIPS computers, and I'm going to sell it separately. I'll just separate it real quick. Glad somebody said that. I wish I lived. I'm in deep South Louisiana. You know what though, Nick? Priority mail, $24, $28 if we can fill you a medium box. I might be able to help you. Always feel free to message me, guys, if there's stuff you're looking for. Feel free to put it in the messages. Don't put it in the chat because I don't always see it go by, and then you think I ignored you, and I didn't. So this is your standard computer RAM. It's not super chunky, but it's okay. People go after it for the gold fingers. People who do gold refining, go after the chips. I tend to sell the higher quality RAM to my subscribers. This is a little bit lower. It has less chips, therefore less gold, but plenty of gold here. You can feel the difference between something like this and something like that. And you can just feel it in your hand. Now, these are memory boards. That's all memory from the MIPS computer. So, this came out of one of the MIPS computers. And these came out of older IBM computers and AMD computers. Really good gold here. Fantastic gold. But this I probably will sell as vintage computer stuff. I'm going to make the same money, but, somebody might need this for a restoration or a part, so I would probably try to sell that there first. It's pretty cool, huh? I actually had, I had more of this, but the guy bought almost every MIPS thing I had, so I left it on the board for him because he just bought so much stuff from me. I wanted to. So these all came from older computers. I could certainly sell this as high-grade RAM. Hey, you don't see this anymore. You just don't see that kind of quality. You don't see that color gold. This is all pre-2020. It's old. Older the golder. Hi, Susie. How are you this morning? Is there gold in the ceramic chips? Absolutely. And if it's from old Telecom, yes, even more so. I would highly refer you to some of the other channels here. Scrooge McDuckin is very good with that. Southern Scrapper is also excellent with that. Scrapping Irish is phenomenal with all of that. So I would say type in hashtag CPU chip ceramic gold recovery, something around that, and watch somebody knock some of these apart and see what's actually in there. I know a lot, but I'm not an expert. I just like to share stuff. Now this also came out of some of the MIPS computers, but I also think this came out of some of the older IBM. Like I said, this is here. I'm just going to show it to you because I want to put it up I want to put it up for vintage computing first before I sell it for scrap. This is silver fingered RAM. Still plenty of gold here and plenty of gold on the board. The fingers are silver though. I did get a lot of the MIPS computers had that. The IBM computers had this. What else had this? DTX computers had it. Those are all early office computers. DTX, IBM computers made by DTX, IBM motherboards. NEC. By the way, watch NEC, guys. NEC often has a MIPS motherboard. Look at that. This probably came out of one of the MIPS computers. I'm going to put that aside. NEC. And again, these are things I'm going to just try to make available first to people who want to do restoration. I belong to a couple of vintage computer clubs. There's a good place to find out. Yes, Stephen, they are. They're ceramic chips for sure. There's ceramic and there's gold here. The only difference is that has a silver. Silver, that's all. But look at this. This did come. I know this came out of a MIPS computer, so I'm going to put this over with the MIPS chips. I cracked myself up. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Look at this one. These are just really cool. That's the cool thing about a live, guys. You just never know which direction it's going to head. I did want to show you these, though. Module made something in USA. A lot of the MIPS stuffs were made in Singapore. And again, as I said, I'm really not an expert on a lot of this. This is all stuff I learned about this week, and some of the computers I pulled apart. See, again, it's very light. There's not a lot of memory here. I pulled one of these apart, and it had like 16 of these in it. That's in the wrong bucket. That belongs in gold. So that I will sell as vintage RAM. I have to figure out how to price it. I'll have to do a comparable. It's Nippon Electronics in Japan, NEC. Yes, thank you. See, I get the best information from people. Yes, Nippon. I get the best information from you guys. Love it. But a lot of a couple of the MIPS computers were NECs. So were the old Acers. And so if you find really old ones, check inside for a MIPS board. If you find a MIPS board, you've got a $1,000 board, and I'm really not kidding about that. I'm not. There's just a huge, huge market for them. So there's the NEC, Nippon Electronics Corporation, Japan. Thank you, Susie. And so this is, as I said, this I will put up for sale as vintage RAM first, to try to get it into the hands of somebody who's doing restoration and stuff. It's not like they can go down to Best Buy and buy replacement parts. They really can't. So I think we'll put that aside first. If it doesn't sell, I can always sell it for gold recovery later. So that's silver fingered RAM. That can go over there. I've got a lot of that. We got a lot of that out of the MIPS computers. My initial thought is I will contact the people who bought those computers from me and see if it's something they want to, they would like to have. I've got one guy who's really mad at me because I basically told him he lowballed me, and really, I was really upset with him this morning. And I told him not to bid on any more of my stuff. It was just, I wouldn't do that to somebody. Okay, anyway, let me not get off on that. That would just be a rant. All right, what else have I got here to show you? So, let's see. Again, right now, I'm saving this. I've got to get it into some anti-static foam to protect it. I don't want to just let it get beat. Once it's chipped, it's worthless. And again, this is just PC RAM. It is selling, as I said, right now for $43 to $44 a pound. Patrick, what's RAM selling for in Ireland right now, out of curiosity? Patrick saves all his RAM. So, and that's a lot of people who do. See, this kind of stuff, I'll probably sell it. What else have I got? Let's see. This is a pound. That's how much RAM takes to make a pound, guys. Oops. Get over there with your friends. So this is a pound of RAM. Probably going to wind up selling it. I don't really want to. I'd like to hold it. I've held quite a bit of it. But Big Red getting smacked like he did, I've had to cash quite a bit of it in because I don't like to borrow money. And just look at it and say, thank God I have this. I'm going to cash it in and get my truck fixed. Okay, well, so that is what's in the vintage boxes, and those are some of the things I will be. Hi, Treasure. Yeah, treasure hunting is right. This whole week has been treasure hunting. I'm not done yet either. I got more down in the basement to do. So I thought I'd show you some of these, and again, this is the kind of stuff I put aside for you guys if I sell you guys RAM. It's stuff like this, very chunky and lots of gold. fingers. I just, I don't have a lot right now. I have maybe a pound, and it's not really the greatest. It's okay, but it's not chunky like the stuff I like to send you guys. All right, well, that's what's going on in Scrappy D land. You know, I'm going to just keep going through some of this. I just gave myself a break. I've been working on cleaning the lower level. I've got my bathroom back, and I want to get my house cleaned up so I can actually have people come and see me. I will hopefully, good Lord willing, be live tomorrow morning. I plan on it. I never know around here. Sometimes my family will drop in unexpectedly, and like last week, the boys dropped in, and we decided to all go out to lunch, and that was fun. So and I was having trouble with my internet last week, so I didn't get a very good live up. So tomorrow, I will be scrapping out some more of these vintage drives, and if I can get the computer up on the table without killing myself, I will definitely scrap out that big tower computer tomorrow. How's that sound? Until then, my good friends in TikTok world, God bless you. Nice talking to you as always. As I said, I have been a little bit absent, not on purpose, just we had rental season, and I have the band instrument rental business, so that took up a lot of my time, plus the house being under construction. But yeah, it's nice to be back. I will be in touch. Be well. Bye, Patrick. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow. Thanks again for your input and your feedback. Always great chatting with y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye.